All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Fiverr to find some people that can help you with your projects, with your processes, your systems, all kinds of things. Now, I'm going to share my link with you on Fiverr, and I will let you know that if you sign up, I do get a little bit of a benefit, and I would appreciate that very much. I will also be very honest with you about what I'm finding with the software or with the company, what I like and what I don't like, okay? So what Fiverr is it's the idea is that you can go online and find something for $5. You can find somebody to do something for you for $5, okay? What I'll tell you is most of these cases, the $5, whatever it is they have is super, super basic, and there's going to be upsells involved in all of that. That being said, it's still incredibly inexpensive. So I find the average to be closer to $20 when I want to have something done. And there's also the ability to add a tip, which you may or may not do, which could take it up. And there's also a $1 service charge from Fiverr on every transaction. So it's not really $5, but that's where they start, okay? Now there's all kinds of things in here from bloggers to SEO, quote unquote, which I have to tell you I'm finding a little bit scary online, to graphic designers, to Infusionsoft, to certain software setups. Okay, so there's all kinds of specialists in certain areas. So what you're going to do is you would go on here and you can do this a couple ways. Okay, you set up your account. There is a team account. So we have a team account. It's free. It doesn't cost anything extra. And that way, all of us can place our orders through Fiverr, and we can all see the orders. We can all pay off one credit card, just to let you know in case you have a team and multiples of you are going to be doing this, okay? Now, I set out on here to find a couple of things. The one person I wanted to find was I build teams, so it's never one person. I like to have several of each. To me, honestly, it's a 3 to 5 person team of any one activity. So on something like this, we're not going to, these people aren't coming on full time. They're not salary employees. They're going to be picking up work. They're going to become unavailable. There's all kinds of things. So for me, if this is a regular thing that I need on a regular basis, I would like to have 5 of them working and available, so if I want to go on here, I can get things done. Like, for example, when I started this, I was looking for somebody to do transcripts. Okay, so let me show you how that worked. So I went up here to find services, and I just typed in transcripts. There's going to be several ways for you to find people. You can use these menus up here. You can use the search bar, or you can post a job request. So let's just say we're doing a random search. So I'm looking for transcription. Okay. So right here, you can see all of the people that do transcripts. So let's just take this first one, for example. I will do fast and accurate 20-minute transcription, starting at $5. Now click on that so that you can take a look at what that person does. Transcribe up to 20 minutes, $5, okay? Delivers in 3 to 4 days. So I had a problem with that. I need mine back much faster. But down, if you see here, you can get extra fast 1-day delivery if you pay $15 extra. You can insert timestamps if you pay $5 extra. So there's all these upsells. Now I will tell you, I learned we don't need to go on to Fiverr to have transcripts. You can go to temi.com. I'm not sure if I have a link for that one. If I do, I'll put it in this write-up. And for 10 cents a minute, you can have your audios transcribed. And they're really not bad. They're equal. That's probably what these guys are using anyway. I just go in there and clean them up, make sure the names are right and the .coms are right. That's what they usually mess up, so anything too tricky. All right, so that's just a little tip for you there as far as transcripts go. And then I said, all right, I'm going to find somebody to edit my YouTube videos because we make a ton of YouTube videos, and I got no time to sit and make graphics and add the end cards and the info screen, so I wanted somebody to do that. So here it's just kind of generic. I typed in YouTube videos, and I get this generic selection of people that do this. Okay, but if you look over here, you can start seeing that it's scrolling down to a little bit smaller. Okay, so I'm like, oh, intros and animated logos. All right, I don't need a logo. Editing and post-production, that might fit, so I click on that, let's just say. Okay, so then I kind of look in basic editing for videos, edit your videos, slideshows, still maybe not. So then I go back up here and I go, okay, I'm still not right. Let me look up YouTube thumbnails. see if somebody who makes YouTube thumbnails. This is exactly how I started out, by the way. Okay. So then we've got kind of a bunch of these guys that make the thumbnails. And then maybe I say, let me see if there's one step further. YouTube optimization. I want somebody that'll optimize my channel and set stuff up. That type of thing. All right. So let's just say I'm going to go through these and look. And let me just tell you, I don't know if I just said this or not. I'm going to repeat myself if I did. You have to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince on sites like this. A lot of these people aren't even actively selling anymore. And so I had to go through and contact a bunch of them to find people that are still active. Don't just go in here and place an order. Message them first to find out if they're still in business, okay? And then I'll show you some more tips once we get it open. Okay, so then look down here. Now you can say, oh, I want somebody who's going to deliver in up to 24 hours. I want it to be within this price range. So this price range, let's say $10. This is the level of the seller, level 1, level 2. When you get into the top rated sellers, you might as well hire a service provider of whatever you're looking for, like a subcontractor or another company, because they're equally as expensive as a regular business would be. But these level 1 and level 2 are usually okay. All right. So then look how much it changed. When I went from delivery time up to 24 hours, we now have only 3 people remaining. So let's take that off. Let's go to any. Okay, there. Now we're back up. All right, so we could go 5 to 20. And then here's something else that I like to do. You can choose the seller's language. So this could be whatever language you speak, whatever language you're putting out on your website, whatever you're targeting, that's their primary language. And down here, if you look, this is a huge key, seller location. Okay, so does it matter to you that that seller is in Canada, is in Israel, is in Italy, is in the United States? So whatever your personal preference is, you actually can choose that. And this is their location of where they work. And one of the things that I found is that I have a harder time with the people that are out of the country, sometimes using some of the same software and connections. And so I start there and then go outside of there. That's just my preference. Okay, so then you've got, let's take a look at this one, YouTube channel SEO. And you go, that looks interesting. So you click on this. And you look at what they do. SEO audit and report, SEO optimization, 11 keywords analyzed. All right, so they set up your channel layout, they add basic modifications, they set up your featured content in your ad, a channel watermark. Okay, so basically they're doing this. This is how to set up your YouTube channel. So this is 101, but they're making sure you have all of your steps done so that you are set up correctly. Okay, so this really isn't a super genius work, but it's steps that you're not going to have to do, and that's good. Okay, so now let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay, they'll do that for $10. All right, but they're only going to make 2 revisions. So if you don't like what they did, you only got 2 chances to tell them that's not what you like. That's scary when you're working with anybody who's designing anything on your channel. Extra fast delivery, $5. Video SEO, $10. So maybe you want a specific video optimized. Banner design, another $20. So you see how this works now? Still, $10, $15. So, you know, $25, $45 to set up your YouTube channel all day long. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I think my only challenge with this is not the price by any means. It's by how many revisions. Like if you're doing design, that makes me nervous. So you'd have to have some really good, clear communication. Now, here's where it gets good though. Scroll down and let's take a look. I must not have pulled my United States because this one says Serbia. Pull down here and look at their reviews, okay? Reviews, nice learning curve, great assistance, excellent to work with, quality product, outstanding experience delivered on time, okay? Now, don't just look at the most recent because it's sorted by highest. I mean, don't look at just the 5 stars. You want to sort this and look at what you want. So now let's look at the negative reviews. None. Okay, so I'm feeling more and more confident about this person as we go. Here's another thing I like about this person is that they have recent feedback. So they've been online here working and doing gigs in the last 6 days. So you've got a pretty good chance of working with this person, okay? So now what I would do at this point, because I don't know enough, but I know enough. Let's take a picture of their work. See that? That looks great. So I know enough to go, all right, this person looks like they could do the job. And so I am now going to contact them. I'm not just going to place the order. And in this box, I'm going to type something in like, your gig is exactly what I'm looking for. My only hesitation is that you only do 2 revisions. So what kind of process are we looking at to help you design? Like, what are you going to go off of to design? Do we have a conversation, or are you just looking at my website? You know, I might ask a couple of questions like that to find out what they do. And I might ask, if there's more revisions, how much would those cost? So if there's only 2 included and you do a 3rd or a 4th, how much would those cost? And they do those in like separate gigs. They would send you another gig for $5 or another gig for whatever. And as long as they just say $5 or $10, then I'm fine with it. This would be a risk worth taking, okay, in my opinion. Now, what you really got to watch out for is like the bloggers. Man, that was rough. I went through a lot of that. I went through looking for content writers and SEO editors, and I found a couple that can do the job of SEO editing with all of my training, my videos, my links, my tutorials, a lot of communication, and yet they still are hitting a ceiling with things like internal linking and some of the other things. So I do have a couple on from here that we've been able to incorporate for some side work, but nothing has knocked my socks off. Now, what we did find, I think having somebody, I did find a girl on here that makes video thumbnails. She does a fine job. I can't remember. I'm not using her right now, but because I found a different process, but she was fine. So I highly recommend simple things like that. You know, helping you lay out your business cards, your flyers. You know, I don't know if I would. Your logo would have to be a really good person, a really good conversation. I think basic graphics are fine. Simple things on your websites could be okay, but you got to be really careful. But look at some of the options here. So they have people that'll help you with your presentations, flyer distribution, branding services, business plans. But look here, virtual assistant. This is a cool category. So what we like about this category is that you can actually hire virtual assistants by blocks of time. And now you're not having to go through a virtual service company. And so you can buy a block of hours. So you might have a project and say, you know, this week I want to get my database updated. I want to get everybody in my database and make sure I have a phone number and email, and I want them to have their Facebook page connected or their LinkedIn page connected, or maybe you have all that software, it does it automatically, but you want to send out surveys or you want to do whatever. And it's project based, okay? So you can do the same thing in here and say, I want a virtual assistant, and then you can list what their specialty is: data entry, admin and support, research, file conversion, okay? And then you can just leave it at any right now because you're going to kind of scroll through everybody. Look at this one. I will cold call to set local web design appointments. So, you know, you've got prospectors in here. There's all kinds of specialty things in here as well. So then you can scroll down and you can say, okay, I want to make sure they speak English because that's the only language I speak, and it would be easier if they did. And then, you know, I'm going to go with United States because of you know, whatever my business is, the regulations, or because I want easier communication. And maybe you start there. I mean, we've got people that aren't in the United States that are great too. So it depends on. I'm not necessarily suggesting one over the other. I'm just kind of showing you how to filter it. Okay. So let's just take a look at this first one. And by the way, let me tell you another tip. Don't go by the picture on their screen like this girl. And I'm not saying that's not her, but I had several experiences where the picture was a girl and the person turned out to be a male. And I think what they figure, not that we care if we're working with male or female, but it was like a I don't know why, but I felt like I had been scammed or lied to or something. It made me not trust them as much. It's not that I cared at all whether they were male or female. I've got males working, I have females working. It doesn't bother me. But it felt like a lie that you had to put somebody. But they must do that for a reason. Choose the pictures that they do. So I'm just saying, we're all in a visual world. Just don't choose a picture based on who you think that person is, because that may not be them. Okay. All right. So let's look at, you can actually sort these. Look at this, sort by recommended. So now you can sort by the highest rated, or you can sort by the best selling. So let's look at the best selling one. All right. So Jacob comes up here twice. Let's take a look at Jacob. Okay. Oh, he's got a little video.
Extra pair of pants. I'm Jacob, your virtual assistant. I expertly manage database entries, provide research, coordinate travel, and a ton more.
That's funny, we were using database as an example, and that's what he does. Okay, so if you look up here, he does travel planning, project management, phone calls, formatting and cleanup, organize, classify or tag your files, customer service support, basic photo editing, okay? So this is the kind of, this isn't, you're not going to necessarily go to somebody like this and say, hey, I want you to go build out my Infusionsoft campaigns that they know nothing about. You're going to have to provide training, provide some kind of resources. Now, so far, the good news is I have found the people that I have hired from here have been able to very quickly watch all my training videos, look at all my examples, and pick up the work almost within 24 hours with only a couple questions. So they seem to be really learning-based, and the ones that I have chosen have been excellent with communication. So again, kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. That's what I'm finding. And you have to make sure your training is in check. I mean, I really take the time. So for example, I own several businesses. I have a real estate business in Las Vegas. I have a digital marketing company. We build lead generation systems primarily for real estate agents, from top of funnel to bottom of funnel websites to pay-per-click marketing. And I own a health coaching company. So I'm a keto coach, the ketogenic diet coach. And this morning, I had decided that I was going to hire somebody to enter recipes into my website for meal plans that are specifically designed for my coaching clients. And it is very tedious, very time consuming, and I just really don't like the work personally. And so I decided immediately this is something I need to leverage out. So I found a person I believe qualified. I got up this morning and I made a 1-hour training video and I went all the way through top to bottom. Let me make the recipe. Let me video it all the way through, and then I sent it to her, and now she has a checklist and a video and knows exactly what to do. Okay, I'll give you, let me show you what one of mine looks like actually. Here's Real Deal. Let's go to shortcuts, tracking, copy editor instructions. Okay, so this is, I'm not going to lie, guys, this is painful. To stop and document a process for most of us is very painful. If you're a real estate agent, you probably really hate this, okay? Unless you have an administrative edge to you or side to you, stopping to do this is incredibly painful. Okay, so here's what I did. Mine is a 2-step process. So I have down here with the tabs, I have the video process, and then I have the copy editor process. So they start with the video process, and I wasn't sure if this was going to be one person or 2 people or the same person or how I was going to do this. Now I've got I've got different people doing each, but I have now found that I can get one person to do it all. So that's what I'm favoring now, is to get one person to follow it all the way through start to finish. So here's the steps. I upload a video into YouTube. They have to optimize the title, optimize the description, add the tags, add an info card, add the end screen, add a thumbnail, add to playlist, order transcript, load transcript to YouTube and auto-sync. If editing, move to copy editor process tab, add transcript as closed captions. And if you're watching this video and you've probably paused that going, let me see if I can take all of her steps, go right ahead. This is exactly what you should be doing if you're going to be doing this type of thing. Those steps, go right ahead and write them out, and you can use my steps. Now, what I also did for my training person is they can click on a video, optimize title. So let's just say they don't know how to do it.
In this video, we're going to optimize our YouTube title.
So in each case, and some of these are bunched into the one video, in each case, if they don't know how to do it or they need to know better how I like it done, they can click on that. So anytime somebody comes back with a question for me, I ask them immediately, did you check the checklist? If they did and I have a gap, I'll go back in and add another item. But if they're just not following their own training, they're not the right person for me. They have to be able to self-learn, okay, based on my training. So my trainings are comprehensive. I show them exactly what I want to do. They need to be able to go do it. Copy editor is the next one. So now they're going to take that video and they're going to turn it into a blog post. So add a title, add a 3 to 4 word slug, add an intro, add a video, add a call to action button, add a table of contents, add in paragraphs, add a design element, etc., etc. Okay, I put my little notes, and up here, is example, and you can see here people are logged into my sheet right now using this. And that's fine. And if you own my training system, ranklikeaboss.com, you have access to this in your training system. And you can also learn more about all the stuff that I do at LoriBallen.com, LoriBallen.com, LoriBallen.com. My marketing company is called BallenBrands.com. And my real estate team is Lori Ballen Team. So Ballen, Lori Ballen, that's me. All right, so that is that's really what you need to be looking for. Now, what happens is you place an order, they accept the order, and then they have a certain amount of time to respond based on whatever was in the gig agreement, 3 days, 4 days, 1 day, or whatever. Then what happens is all of your communication is done through Fiverr. That's one of the drawbacks, is because you get an email every time, and then you have to click on that, and you have to log into Fiverr to communicate. So not my favorite way of communicating, and I would say it's got a ways to go on their system as far as that kind of stuff goes. There's also not a great way to make notes as to who you talked to, who you didn't talk to, who you emailed. But there are some you can save in, and these are all completely customizable. So I've got one called not to use. So those are people that I've either used or had a bad experience with. So I've got them in that category. If they're too high priced, if I've chosen them for my blogger team, you could add here emailed. So at least you could put them in categories. But they don't have a great spot for us to keep notes on all of these people or to remove them from showing us their gigs again. On each gig, they can post a whole bunch of different gigs, which are little jobs. So you have the person's page, and then you have all of their little gigs, okay? So you can once you use them, I think there was a way, I don't remember now if there's a way to block them from showing up in your gigs or not. I don't think so, but you would think that's an obvious, so maybe there is, and I just haven't seen it yet. All right. Now, once the gig comes back, if you don't like it, you can request your revision. If you like it, you accept it. We're doing all the payments through PayPal. You pay up front, by the way. You pay up front. So you need to know that. You pay your $20, then you wait, then you do your revisions, and then if there's a problem, you guys can negotiate, or you can request a cancellation. They can request a cancellation, and you can get credit on your account if there's a reason for that to happen. I've had that happen a couple times where they just couldn't deliver in time, or they couldn't keep up, they had too much work, that type of thing. It is frustrating when you find people and they say, yes, I'm going to do this, I get it, I understand it, and then they vanish. And you're giving them access. You've got to make them a manager of your YouTube account. You've got to give them certain, I pay $10 per person to access my graphic design software. I pay to have people on my copyright, my stock photos, so it's a big deal to get them all set up, to add them as users, to do all of that, and then to have them vanish. So those are the drawbacks with Fiverr. The positive thing is you can get things for cheap, and some of it will be really quality work, and you're going to be very happy with that relationship. The drawback is anybody can disappear at any time. They could I had two that just got better offers and disappeared. I've had one that just never responded. We had all this great dialogue, and they just vanished once I placed the order. They accepted the order. They just never did the work. That was bizarre. And we also don't know security-wise. There's some danger there too. So we're really careful about how we add people to our systems and what we let them see and what abilities they have, what their user permissions are. So just be on your heads up. Pay attention. Really look for people that are working a lot and getting good scores. And you got to do your homework. I remember banging my head against the wall on day 4 of doing this, telling my team like, oh, I'd rather poke my eyes out with toothpicks than talk to one more Fiverr person, because it's just so tedious and there's so much of it. But now I've got some people doing some stuff, and they're doing some good work, and it's relatively it's more inexpensive than it would be hiring a full-time person. And so I'm willing to go through it to find that. And you don't have to worry about taxes, because this is just going to be a write-off through Fiverr being a subcontractor, and you don't have to worry about somebody's hours and their health insurance and all that. So there's goods and bads, pros and cons, just like with everything else. But this is an example for you on how you might use Fiverr for your business. Thanks. Again, I'm Lori Ballen with ballenbrands.com, ranklikeaboss.com, and loriballen.com, and my health company. If you're interested in getting healthier or losing weight, you can find me at ketodays.com. ketodays.com. Talk to you later.